USAC, you know, the Silver Crown Series and the sprint cars and the midgets, they run both on the dirt and the asphalt, and we know who came out of that circuit. Some of the biggest names around that are racing currently. I think you've got one kind of program going.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, I mean, when you say about, you know, USAC with what they have, they got a great thing going. It's obvious, you know, your Tony Stewart's, your Jeff Gordon's, your Ryan Newman, some of your best racers come out of that. You know, because USAC midgets, I never drove one. Always watched them when I ran a champ car deal. I raced at the Copper World Classic, different places with them. I thought they were the coolest, you know, most awesome race car to watch, like the Four Crown National at Eldora. You know, it's just awesome to watch. They're a fun car to drive. And, you know, and when I started looking at a new product to build, certainly that was in my mind that, you know, I wanted to build a product similar. The problem with USAC midgets today, they're running on a $40,000 motor. You know, and you know, they run on a $40,000 motor and they run for $800 to win. The ratio don't work. You know, when we ran Big Diamond Speedway about a month and a half ago, we ran with USAC with these. And that's the first time Kevin Miller, the president of USAC, saw our vehicles and stuff. And he said, finally, somebody brought some sense to our industry. You know, because he sees major declining car counts in USAC, especially asphalts. I mean, they're down to 13, 15 sprinters, you know, on asphalt. You know, you need purpose-built cars. And their midget deal in USAC, and I hate to knock on anybody's program, but, you know, the midget deal, their wheelbase is so variable that they build long cars for the miles, short cars for say, IRP or the Speedrome. You know, not only do they need a long and a short asphalt car, but now they need a dirt car also. And there's long cars for Belleville, short cars for, you know, Kokomo. You know, and they just, you know, they need to step back and restructure, and that's basically what we did.
Yeah.
You know, we stepped back, we looked at a couple of things. You know, number one, safety. We tried to drive, you know, put some new safety things into a vehicle. And number two, just making them so I can produce them cheaply. That's all that matters. The people in the stands, they get a good show, they don't know.
That was a good show. You know, the heat race was excellent today.
It was really good. And it's tough. I mean, it's tough to get a good show. You know, I hate to say limited talent. These kids try real hard, but you know, they're you know, it's amazing how they do. These kids never went this fast in their life, and you know, and they do a great job, and I'm proud of that.
What kind of safety stuff have you put in these cars that's different from a normal USAC car or ARDC midget or anything?
I mean, the biggest thing, cockpit space. You know, we increased the cockpit space quite a bit. You know, a guy my size, if I was trying to sit in a regular midget car, man, it'd be like, you know, I'd be like a sardine in there. We don't build any of the cars without the full containment seats. We put the full containment seats in the cars. The fuel cell is up inside the car. The fuel cell actually sets up in here. There's no fuel cell out the back of the car. You know, so once again, it creates safety. There's no spinning brake rotor under your seat. The brake rotor's out here, not under your seat. There's some of the simple things we did. We built crush zones into the car, and, you know, we tried to make as safe a vehicle as we could.
So you actually did a lot of engineering on this then, didn't you?
Yeah, we tried.
Before you ever put it together.
Well, once I design a spec race car like this is, I don't want to make many changes. I want to make sure I get as close as I can the first time. You know, we've made little changes, safety changes since last year, subtle things, and I will do that. I won't change our vehicle unless there's a safety or structural issue with the vehicle. I might change. I don't change just because, you know, because what that does. The neat thing about what we do, like a vehicle like this, if it doesn't change and it's the same vehicle year after year, they maintain resale value. And that's unheard of in motorsports. Most race cars obsolete themselves after a year or two. And you buy an asphalt modified for say, or a dirt modified, you know, you're going to lose 60% of the new value. Where a spec car like these, Slingshots, Legend cars only lose 30% of their value. Because they're always the same. You can buy an older car and it's competitive. We don't change it. So there's been a lot of thought, obviously.
That's great. I'll tell you what, it looks like a great series. Easy to get into if you want to go racing. Everybody, take a look at it and go for it. Let's talk about who's sponsoring you. I know you are, obviously, because you're in the business.
You know, with this car here, basically, you know, all the guys, they get on me. You know, I run my own series. You know, I race my own series. I'm a race car driver. It keeps all the kids honest. When they beat me, you know, and it makes them work harder. What we got this year is we have the National Fragile X Foundation. Basically what the National Fragile X Foundation, it's a syndrome that my son has, so I'm very close to it. You know, my son has that syndrome. And what I'm doing this year is I'm taking the profits from this car this year that I make will go to that syndrome. You know, I'll donate it. And it just shows you that I have a car this year so far, we're about $2,800 up. And that's paying my bills. You know, so I paid my bills for my vehicle, and I'm still $2,800 ahead over 9 races so far. You know, when I ran dirt modifieds, there ain't no way. You know, I'd be 28,000 in the hole by now. You know, so that car back there, basically, that's our K&N Challenge car. What we're doing with that car, we're renting that out to different individuals this year. K&N's helping us out with the deal. At the end of this year, we have, so far, we have 11 kids trying it out. At the end of this year, I'm going to pick with a kid that I felt was the best, not only on his performance on the racetrack, just to want to be a race car driver, and we're going to give him a car to use for the entire 2010 season. So he has to operate it himself, but at least he gets the vehicle to use. You know, so it might be a kid that has a lot of talent, but not cash to buy the car. You know, so we're going to see that kid out there. You know, and that's what's going to give you better and better races. Today, there's a lot of good talent that don't get a chance. You know, and that's why you see the same names, your Billy Pauch, your Brett Hearn, your Billy Decker. These people still win. You know, where are the new kids of today? You know, they can't get into it. The talented ones can't get, because they can't afford it.
And I think this is the series that gets them into it. There's no doubt about that. How do people get a hold of you on getting involved in this type of racing?
There's a couple ways. Certainly, number one's you know, the internet, SpeedSTR.biz. Or slingshotbytobias.com. Those are the 2 ways internet. You know, phone number will be 717-866-7450. You know, give us a call if you're interested. You know, if you're looking at what we have, it makes sense. You got a talented kid out there that, you know, you need to showcase some good talent in front of good people against good race car drivers. Hey, you know, give us a shout. And you know, and something else too, I'd like to thank the group here from Shangri-La Speedway. You know, to have a guy willing to put his neck out to do this in today's economy, the status of motorsports is just incredible, and he built an awesome facility, and I hope he does well.